Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. So today, we are embarking on a bit of a mission to crack the code of those massive, intimidating vocabulary words. You know the words that literally look like they take up half a page in the dictionary? Well, we're going to completely demystify them using some of the absolute smartest strategies out there and hopefully turn you into a master word decoder in the process. To really kick things off, we have a central mystery to solve here. How in the world do elite spellers conquer these giant words without just memorizing them? It's a pretty fascinating question, right? Because, we usually picture spelling bee champions staring at a dictionary for hours on end, rote memorizing thousands of random letters. But actually, that is not how they do it at all. They have a system, a framework, really, that makes these giant words totally manageable. And the biggest secret to their success is surprisingly simple. Roots first, spelling second. See, champion spellers, they don't look at a massive word as just a random jumble of letters. Instead, they view it a lot like a giant Lego set. They break the words down piece by piece into roots and suffixes. By understanding these tiny little building blocks, they can actually guess the meaning and the structure of a word they've never even laid eyes on before. It's all about working smarter, not harder. So let's dive into our core clue for today, the root word anthrop. From now on, anytime you hear anthrop hiding inside a word, I want you to picture a big, bustling crowd of people. Why? Because anthrop literally means human or people. This one single root is basically the engine driving dozens of complex words. And once you know it, you hold the master key to unlocking the whole shebang. Now, when we look at common spelling patterns for this root, notice how onth often starts a word, while thrup kind of likes to hide right in the middle. And the endings, the suffixes, those are massive clues. Like ology tells you the word is about a study or a science. The suffix ist means we're talking about a specific person. Ik turns the word into an adjective, and oid means like or similar to. These little tags completely change the word's actual job in a sentence. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the morphology puzzle. Basically, break it, build it, and spell it. Okay, take the word philanthropy. It easily breaks down into phil, which means love, anthrop, meaning human, and y. So it's the concept of helping humans. But if we swap out that ending from a y to an ist, we get philanthropist. Suddenly, we aren't talking about the abstract concept anymore. We are talking about the actual person doing the helping. Just one tiny suffix swap, and the entire function of the word totally shifts. Here's another really great comparison. Misanthrope ends with an e, and that's the person word for someone who dislikes people. But swap that e for a y, and you get misanthropy, which is the concept or the feeling of disliking people. Again, it's a super simple but absolutely crucial suffix swap that completely alters the meaning of the word. And this concept works perfectly for the sciences too. Check out that linking O connecting the root to the suffix here. Anthropology combines our root for human with logy, giving us the study of humans. Just picture yourself sitting in an anthropology class, but then the logic class turns into the logist, scientist, so the anthropologist is the actual person doing the studying. Now let's tackle some truly massive adjectives. Anthropomorphic breaks down into our human root plus morph, which means form, plus the adjective ending "ike. Put it together, having a human form. Anthropocentric uses cent, meaning center, so human-centered. This framework even works for crazy complex concepts like anthropophobia, literally the fear of people, or anthropathy, ascribing human feelings to a higher power. By breaking them into these colorful little chunks, these terrifyingly long words become, honestly, completely logical and totally harmless. Okay, moving right along to section 2, spelling bee alert. These are the traps you definitely want to avoid. So there are definitely some danger zones that constantly trip people up, even on the big stage. For example, people often spell anthropology with the wrong vowel sound, mostly because the spoken word sounds a bit muddy right in the middle. Or they forget that crucial H right after the T in anthrop. They also mix up the concept of philanthropy with the person, the philanthropist. And a really huge trap, dropping the E at the end of misanthrop. You really have to visualize these tricky spots so you don't fall for them. To make absolutely sure you dodge these spelling bee traps every single time, I want you to remember this catchy little memory cue. Watch the H, the E, and the endings. Actually, say it with me in your head right now. Watch the H, the E, and the endings. If you double-check those 3 specific things, you are going to spell these giant words perfectly. Section 3, memory tricks and hacks.
time to paint a mental picture. So, to really lock these in, for philanthropy, think love plus human equals helping. Just picture a giant red heart. For misanthrope, imagine a grumpy cartoon cat holding up a sign saying, "No thanks, people." For anthropomorphic, remember that morph means form, so picture a shiny, human-shaped robot. And for anthropoid, which means human-ish, picture a human-like sci-fi droid. Giving your brain a really concrete, funny image makes the abstract word completely unforgettable.
Let's finish up our memory tricks here. For anthropocentric, imagine humans standing dead center in the middle of a giant archery target. For anthropology, visualize sitting in a logi class studying human history, taught by an anthropologist, the ultimate study person. And cementing it all together is our foundational idea. Anytime you see anthrop, just picture a giant crowd, because anthrop always equals people.
All right, Section 4 word detective challenges. Let's put your new clues to the test.
Okay, here is your first mystery sentence. The rabbit in the story was anthropomorphic. Look closely at that giant word at the end there. Can you spot the human-centered parts we just talked about? What is this sentence actually telling us about the rabbit?
Well, here's the breakdown. Anthropo means human, morph means form, and ic makes it an adjective, meaning having a human-like form. The roots perfectly describe a cartoon rabbit that is, say, walking on two legs, wearing clothes, and talking just like a human. Boom! You just decoded a massive word without even needing a dictionary.
Let's try another one. The old man was called a misanthrope. Remember your memory tricks for this one. Think about that grumpy cat. What exactly is a misanthrope? Here is the solution. Mis means dislike, anthrop means people, and the E tells us it's a person. Put it all together, a person who dislikes people. Those root clues immediately give away the old man's grumpy, antisocial nature. Pretty cool, right?
Okay, here is your final mystery sentence for today. Her philanthropy helped the school. We can clearly see our crowd of people right in the middle of that word, but what does the whole thing mean in the context of helping a school?
Exactly. Phil means love, anthrop means human, and apria makes it a concept noun. It means helping humanity. True philanthropy is literally taking the love of humanity and putting it into real-world action, like making a helpful donation to a school. You guys absolutely crushed that today. So I want to leave you with one final kind of provocative challenge. Think about words like anthropocentric, anthropoid, or anthropological. From now on, when you're reading a book, watching a movie, or just listening to the news, don't let these giant words intimidate you. Can you spot the root? Can you find the clues and break them down entirely on your own? Keep your detective eyes open, watch your endings, and keep building those mental pictures. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy decoding!